ever sat there and wondered what our life would be like without social media? I mean, at this point, it's kind of impossible to even imagine because these apps have done such a great job at teaching us how to think a certain way, how to feel a certain way, how to look a certain way, and what's most scary is how to not live without them. So in today's video, I wanted to share with you the 5 ways that social media is ruining our lives, and then share with you 5 key solutions that will help you diminish this addiction that we all face. Now, the first way that social media is ruining our lives is pretty straightforward, and it's something that I think we all can come to terms with, and that's the fact that social media use is linked with our depression, loneliness, and anxiety rates throughout the years.
We see the same pattern with suicide. The older teen girls, 15 to 19 years old, they're up 70% compared to the first decade of the century. The preteen girls, who have very low rates to begin with, they are up 151%. And that pattern points to social media.
Which brings me to the second reason why social media is ruining our lives, and that's that it's changing the way that we think. It's changing our brain. You see, before when we were little kids and we didn't have these social apps, the way that we used to get dopamine was by hanging out with our friends, by being active, by doing new things. And nowadays, all it takes is one scroll down and we get that dopamine rush. But it's not the same. You see, these apps have been designed a certain way, kind of compared to slot machines, where every single time that you scroll down, you're expecting something new and something that is going to give you this feeling, this rush of dopamine that you couldn't really get anywhere else. And that brings me to the third reason why social media is ruining our lives. It's creating this spotlight effect. The spotlight effect essentially is what I was just mentioning, where we're so focused on doing a certain task and all it takes is one little or one notification to pop up on our phones, and next thing we know, that 5 minutes that you were going to spend checking that text or that notification turns into 30 minutes, turns into an hour, and so on and so forth. But the fourth reason why social media is ruining our lives is actually something that I really noticed, especially growing up, and that's that social media gives us unreal expectations. You see, something that I don't think a lot of us acknowledge and realize is that what we see online is only a small percent, a small fraction of that person's true reality behind the screen. And sometimes it's easier for us to put on a smile and to take a picture than to actually show people our true emotions. And that's why this right here is by far the biggest reason why social media is ruining our lives. These unreal expectations are making it very difficult for us to live our true and authentic lives. And finally, the fifth reason why social media is ruining our lives is this overload of apps. Do we need all of these apps that at some point they all mimic each other, trying to get our attention the same exact way? Yet we never really ask ourselves why we even need these apps. But let's stop focusing on the problems and let's start looking for solutions with these 5 tips that I have for you guys. Now, the first tip that I have for you guys is to watch out for who you follow. This tip right here seems pretty straightforward, and it's actually something that I'm slowly transitioning into because we kind of all grow up using these social apps and trying to connect with whoever, but once you get to a certain age, you start to realize that there's certain people that you're kind of hate following, in other words, but it's something that actually keeps us addicted to the app because we want to see more of this person's post. We're kind of keeping up with someone's life that we don't necessarily care about. So to diminish your use of social apps, start to watch out for who you follow. Make sure that the people that you're following are people that inspire you, people that motivate you, and people that you truly care about. And then the second tip that I have for you guys that will help you diminish your time on social apps is probably something that's pretty straightforward, and a lot of people have told you about this, but whenever you're doing any task that needs 100% of your attention, make sure that your phone is completely away from you, out of sight. Make sure that it's not even in the room that you're in. For example, right now I'm recording this video, and if I had my phone here and I saw my screen light up, my attention would get diverted towards my phone. I try and make sure that my phone is as far as possible and out of sight so I'm not tempted to look at it. And then the third tip that I have for you guys is another one that's pretty straightforward, and that's to limit your time on these apps, which I know is actually something that's very difficult, especially when these apps are staring at you every single time that you're on your phone. But something that I've actually started to do in these past couple of weeks ever since I got back on social media is from Monday to Friday, I completely delete the apps from my phone, and doing this method has really helped me diminish the time that I'm on these apps. Now, the fourth tip that I have for you guys is probably one of the hardest ones to do, and that's to actually turn off all notifications from apps. You see, notifications are good because they keep you on track. They make sure that you know that your friend messaged you, that your friend liked your picture, that your friend commented, the friend tagged. The list goes on and on and on about all the ways that these apps can notify you of different things. But at the end of the day, these notifications are actually a strategic way of getting your attention back on these apps. And finally, the last tip that I have for you guys when it comes to diminishing this addiction that we have for social media is to stop being strategic with your social media. I know that we all want to have this perfect, polished life on these social apps, but be real, be authentic. I mean, that's something that I'm really learning here on YouTube, where I can sit here and be 100% myself. And no matter how many people watch my videos, I'm proud of what I'm putting out because it's 100% me. Be yourself, be authentic. I hope that you guys found value in today's video. And if you did, please make sure to give it a like. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.